Now, that kind of comment, though Mr. Modi doesn't react to it, of course, and it is believed that he does not need to, some people begin to worry if this new government will be forced by those who are patronizing it or backing it or supporting it to take a tilt to the right. And I don't mean the economic right in this case. Will that happen? Let's introduce the guests on debate number 2. Rahul Nardekar with me in the studio of the NCP. Kamal Farooqui he's an independent political analyst who was earlier with Samajwadi Party. Suresh Prabhu, former cabinet minister in the NDA government, could get a role in this one. It's speculated. Salman Soz of the Congress, and Seshadri Chari, member of the National Executive and convener of the Foreign Affairs Cell of the BJP. He's also from the RSS, so he's in a good position to actually get into this debate and answer it. Okay, let's open it up. My first question goes to Seshadri Chari. Seshadri Chari, now what will you do when Uddhav Thackeray says stop playing cricket with Pakistan? He says it 1 week before the swearing in.
We will talk to Uddhav Thackeray. We have not said we will not talk to Uddhav Thackeray. We have said we will not talk to Pakistan.
But what is your stand on what Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has said? What is the Bharatiya Janata Party stand?
See, the Bharatiya Janata Party has also been saying almost the same thing, that playing cricket or doing business, giving MFN status, are all part of the confidence building measure. And the confidence building measure starts with Pakistan. Unfortunately, Pakistan has not been able to deliver as far as the CBMs are concerned. But in spite of the CBMs not being delivered, India was prepared to go the extra mile. And we did support as far as games and people-to-people contacts are concerned. These should be allowed because we are against the policies of the government of Pakistan, the army of Pakistan, the ISI of Pakistan, the clergy of Pakistan, not the people of Pakistan. But if Pakistan wants to use cricket as a means of striking an imbalance with India, they have to take the call, not India.
Well, today, Mr. Seshadri Chari, I also have another blog of RSS ideologue MG Vaidya, and I'd like to get Suresh Prabhu, Salman Soz and Kamal Farooqui feel free to come to the debate. You see, Modi's focus is on development. He says, I fought and won the elections on development. People voted for development. But MG Vaidya says, in 1999, the BJP could manage to get 182 seats. They needed the support of 90 MPs from outside, from parties like the National Conference. So the common minimum program had to be made with such parties. That became the manifesto of the government. Issues like Article 370 and Ayodhya construction of Ram Temple had to be kept aside. Now Salman Soz, Seshadri Chari and Suresh Prabhu, Kamal Farooqui come into the debate. He says now the BJP has a pre-poll alliance with parties like the TDP, the Shiv Sena, the Akali Dal and some parties in Tamil Nadu. I don't think they will have any problem with issues like Ram Temple and Article 370. Though the alliance had projected issues of transparent government and development, Article 370 and Ram Temple were part of the manifesto. I'm sure the RSS is not going to simply crumble and say, we don't expect you to deliver on any issues for the next 5 years as long as you deliver on development. Very few people believe the RSS will do that. Salman Soz entering the debate. I saw a hand go up there. Yes, Mr. Soz.
Arnab, once Mr. Modi takes over on the 26th, I think he's a smart man. I don't think he's going to just toe the RSS line immediately. I don't see any possibility of that. Because getting into the tougher divisive issues, I think that's a big no-no as far as I can tell. Any smart BJP politician would counter that right now, counter the temptation right now. Even though these issues are part of the manifesto of the BJP, I'm absolutely confident that the BJP got this impressive mandate not because of these divisive issues, but yes, there was polarization and other things, but a large part of this country also was looking at a change, And I think the change in terms of Mr. Modi talked about development and governance and all these things, and I think caught the imagination of the Indian people. But I don't think most of the country would tolerate any kind of move towards issues that will divide us. And as far as I was on a show with you just 2 days back. The Congress Party will support, obviously, be a very constructive opposition in Parliament. But at the same time, we will limit our support to issues where we feel that the country is going on the right track.
No, so do you believe? Most people believe now that Mr. Modi will have a very practical approach to governance. Mr. Farooqi, let's draw you in. Suresh Prabhu, why don't you come in? That Mr. Modi will have a very practical approach to governance.
Yeah.
He will realize that these are not the divisive issues or whatever sort of the slightly right-wing issues which are the reason for his huge mandate. The reason for his huge mandate is the expectation he brings down prices, gives jobs, brings in investment and controls inflation, right? He will focus on that. But how will he contain the RSS and the other groups, Mr. Farooqi?
I personally feel the kind of speeches which he is making after winning the election, that gives me a hope that basically the development plan which he's talking about, and he's talking about the inclusive growth, he's trying to address to the needs of the 125 crore of the people. If he does this, which I personally feel that he should do it because he has got no other way out. If he goes into what actually Thackeray and other people are talking about, then the whole is the plan will go haywire, because the moment he gets into all those issues which are contentious, like the Babri Masjid issue, that is in the Supreme Court. Let the court decide, and it will be taken up later on. All of 370, you cannot touch 370 because 370 is not for Kashmir alone; it is for the others. So what I am trying to tell you, he has got a mandate to work for the development, to bring out the black money, to put the whole country into the right track. If he does it, he will get the support from everybody.
So all the other issues,
but if he does it, God forbid.
No, the other issues, for example, they therefore will not need to be looked at. You are saying they will not need to be looked at. What if some people were to tell him that, Mr. Modi, the Uniform Civil Code idea is not unconstitutional. It is one of the directive principles in the Constitution under Article 44, and it has also been upheld by the Supreme Court. So here is your opportunity. You get together numbers, get 362 on your side. You don't even need 362, but you can implement the Uniform Civil Code. Do you think Mr. Modi will look at that? Or do you think Mr. Modi will say that's not important for the country right now?
No, he will not look that. But
he won't look there, you're saying. Okay.
Why, Arnab, he will not take that? He won't. Why? I am telling you why. Because he is talking about 125 crore. And when he is talking about 125 crores, he cannot ignore the large chunk of the minorities.
Mr. Modi may not want to do it.
The moment he does, of course, directive principle is there. But already
Mr. Modi himself may not want to do it. But then he is with allies who have been speaking that language.
But he's not dependent on those allies.
That may be the case. But till how far can he ignore these allies? That's the point. Because these allies are allies who are going to go to elections in the next 6 months.
Which allies?
For these allies, these are the only issues based on which they can want to get support from the people.
Which allies? Shiv Sena,
and therefore,
Shiv Sena, how many?
They will put Mr. Modi in a corner where he will have to choose whether he stays with these allies or he prefers to walk the path which he has chosen.
But why? What is the importance? I'm sorry to say, Suresh Prabhu, don't take it otherwise. But what is the political importance of the Shiv Sena today? Is the Maharashtra election going to determine Mr. Modi's national thinking? You see, Mr. Modi has assiduously sidestepped the Hindutva issue in the run-up to this campaign. If you see as the Prime Minister-elect, his speech at the meeting of the BJP Parliamentary Party, he does not mention religion even once. He speaks about the welfare of 125 crore Indians. I'm sorry, Mr. Narvekar, but I think you're being highly presumptuous if you think Mr. Modi will be more worried about the political performance of the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra to compromise.
My question is to what extent will he be able to ignore the wishes of his allies?
Well,
that's the question.
Let Mr. Suresh Prabhu answer.
That only
let Mr. Suresh Prabhu answer that. Yes, Mr. Prabhu.
See, the government has several ministries. So obviously each ministry has a priority of implementing something. there is a Ministry of Rural Development which will do rural development jobs. There is a Ministry of External Affairs will look at external affairs relationship. There is a Ministry of Finance which will look at financial issues. So this is all the ministries which have different priorities. The one of the ministry which has a responsibility to look at external relationship is Ministry of External Affairs, which has to find out how do we engage Pakistan in our relationship in terms of finding out how both the countries can live peacefully. The question is how Pakistan wants to respond to this. If the Pakistan is willing to ensure that all the terrorists which are living on their soil, which are wanted in India, Pakistan ensures that Pakistan ground will not be allowed to be used for launching terrorist attack on India. If Pakistan,
sir, you are avoiding the question on coalition partners. You are talking about Pakistan. But you're not talking about coalition partners. Rahul Narvekar's question, and I go to Seshadri Chari and you on this, both of you, is that and this is actually the question in many people's minds, Mr. Chari, will some of the BJP's coalition partners still keep a check on the BJP's Hindutva agenda? As they had done during the NDA tenure between 1994 and 1998, or because the BJP has superior numbers this time, will it be absolutely not dependent on anyone, including the RSS?
For example, Mr. Chari...
including the Shiv Sena, yes.
For example, Mr. Chari just said that he would like, Bharatiya Janata Party would like to keep sporting ties away from political equations with Pakistan. Whereas the Shiv Sena has a completely different idea on this.
Shiv Sena does not run the government. I mean, you're overplaying the Shiv Sena maybe because you've been a part of it in the past.
Is Bharatiya Janata Party saying that the opinion of the allies will not count on this subject?
Are you trying to provoke the divide?
Let them say so. The country wants to know what is their position.
284 seats, maybe the BJP doesn't need to. Yes, once Kamal Farooqi also comes in. Mr. Seshadri Chari is smiling at this part of the debate. He knows that attempts to broad base the debate are being narrowed by some of the participants, and I think he will answer you directly. Kamal Farooqi, yes please. Seshadri Chari, I'll give you complete time after that. Question at this time is,
I wish and hope Mr. Modi, who has been talking about 125 crores, he will take the country along with him, and he will not get bogged down into all those issues which ultimately will keep him out of the right track which he has chosen for himself. If he does this under the pressure from A, B or C, or is the parent organization, I think then the whole process will go haywire. The country is looking... You please understand that the country has voted against the corruption, against the anger, against all those kind of things. They do not want the divisive politics to be involved in it. If he does it, he would be in a difficult situation.
But won't the RSS say?
Keeps his promise, I'm pretty sure he will get the...
won't the RSS say, okay, Salman Soz, I see your hand go up.
I don't think even he will listen to RSS to that extent.
You don't think he'll listen to the RSS? Won't the RSS say, what about core issues? What about our core issues?
About that. Sir, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Even in the past, you see, Mr. Joshi, he was an RSS man. Mr. Modi he did not attend even the working committee meeting of the Maharashtra. He had his ways out, because I am pretty sure that he has got a mind how he has to run the country. If he gets under these kind of pressures, he will.
No, your argument falls. Your argument falls perfectly in line with all those people who say Narendra Modi with 284 can get Jagan, everybody on his side, and therefore he will slowly begin to carve his niche and control both the party and be able to tell the RSS what its red lines are. But there is that fear among some people that despite the mandate, Nagpur...
That is wishful thinking of large section of the society.
Wishful thinking. Okay, Salman Soz and Seshadri Chari, I just want you to hear everyone and then I'm coming back to you. Yes, Mr. Soz. Yes, Mr. Soz.
There are two things. I think one, we've heard many stories from Gujarat about how Mr. Modi effectively kind of got rid of the RSS pressure in Gujarat and was able to kind of do his own thing in Gujarat. I don't know if that can work at the national level, but there's the second aspect, and I think Mr. Modi, he does believe in free markets and other things, this self-interest. And I think if he believes in self-interest, he will not go for contentious issues because those things could derail his interests. I think his interest would be in trying to consolidate, and I don't think starting with contentious issues is the right way to go. And I can tell you that this country is not going to stand for anything but trying to figure out how we can start improving the economic well-being of this country. We are on the road to recovery, but he has to consolidate. He has to focus on inflation. He has to focus on job
But then
creation.
you
He has to
too. No,
focus on
but
health and
then you have a
education.
responsibility at your end as well, Salman Soz. That tomorrow, if Mr.
Yes,
Modi
we have
was,
a
no, 1 second, you have a
Yes, we have a
responsibility. No, you have a responsibility then. Because, for
Yes.
example, let me pick up the issue of an anti-terror mechanism. I'm telling you and Kamal Farooqi that you remember Modi spoke about the need for a harsh anti-terror law in Delhi in June last year. And the BJP manifesto, for example, speaks about the revival of an anti-terror mechanism. So if the Modi government wants to reinstate something on the lines of POTA, right, then you too have a responsibility not to start saying, oh, that's extremely right-wing thing to do. Mr. Chari, you see the definition of what is right-wing and what is right for the country are two different debates. The concern will be that if Mr. Modi tomorrow wants to reinstate POTA in a way that you should not be championing the anti-POTA cause because you believe that you can interpret that to be a tilt to the right. Seshadri Chari, please. Mr. Chari, please, wanted to come in.
Arnav, I think the debate starts at one point and is spreading too far thin. I think there are a number of issues that have been raised. Let me try to address one by one. I highly appreciate Mr. Salman Soz and Kamal Farooqi both. They have very rightly hit the nail on the head. There are contentious issues, no doubt about it. And there are issues which are very positive and which are the priority for Mr. Modi. And he has amply testified that he is going to attach importance to the priority list first. And the most important priority is price rise. The most important priority is to restore the confidence in government and also institutions. I think these are all issues where the Congress and all other political parties would agree. I also appreciate Salman Soz saying that the Congress will extend positive and good support to all the such initiatives. As far as development is concerned, all the political parties are with us. When it comes to issues, I must remind my good friend Mr. Narvekar, who was part of the Shiv Sena which he is talking about now. The recent victory of Shiv Sena and BJP in Maharashtra is not attributed to what Shiv Sena or MNS would otherwise go to the people with. It was on the development plank that both Shiv Sena
this is
and
exactly
BJP
what I
have
was
won.
talking about. There is a disconnect between the Bharatiya Janata Party and its allies. And that's the worrying factor for Mr. Modi. Because it is not only important what Mr. Modi does, it's also very important what it is perceived, what Mr. Modi would be doing. The perception is very important because the nation has casted complete confidence in the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA, and therefore it is very necessary and it is paramount for Mr. Modi to ensure that he wins the confidence of the people and does not shake his head to comments made by his alliance partners. For example,
what do you want him to do in the context of Uddhav Thackeray's comment? You expect Narendra Modi. No, you expect Narendra Modi to come and say, respond to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. You want the president, prime minister designate.
Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has not made a statement in the air. He's not gone to the media and said, this is what I feel. He said, this is what I want Mr. Modi to do.
Mr. Modi may give it a right royal ignore.
Therefore, if Mr.
Modi may give it a right royal ignore. After all, now
Mr. Modi can ignore which a non-ally of his may say. But when an alliance partner says it, it is his duty to come out clear before the nation and say, these are my views on this topic and I don't agree with it.
Every time a Shiv Sena editorial comes out, the Prime Minister of India will respond. You expect him to do so.
If the Shiv Sena is a part of that alliance, yes, it is the responsibility of that individual.
I'm sorry, but you think the Prime Minister of India will be responding to the Samana every morning?
I don't think so.
You actually think
I don't think so.
I don't think he will.
Narvekar.
Yes, what's
Narvekar, please. Narvekar, try to understand. The Shiv Sena of which you were a part some months ago is different from the Shiv Sena now. They have got very good advisors. Believe me. you can go back to the party
The
and say that
statement
the
doesn't
party
seem
has
to make
changed.
out any difference between
I
the
can
Shiv
assure
Sena
you
3
this.
months back and the Shiv Sena today. The statements made today don't make out any difference,
You
Mr. Chari.
you still have friends in Shiv Sena, try and talk to them.
I agree with you.
No, Narvekar, it is not like that. No, it is not like that.
No, but the statement
Parties change.
I would,
Parties do change.
Mr.
Therefore-
Chari, I would be happier than you would be
Therefore,
if that's the case.
I think-
Mr. Chari, I would be happier than what you would be if that's the case.
Really?
But unfortunately, the statements which we see from Shiv Sena leaders today do not reflect any change from their position, which was 3 months back, and what it is today.
Yeah, but-
so I think you are hoping against hope that Shiv Sena has changed its stand.
No, Narvekar. Try to understand the situation. Even when you were in Shiv Sena, you used to make statements, one for the set of statements for the public and one set for the political discussions. Therefore,
Political
no party,
discussions
we don't
were in
expect
public
any
domain,
party
Mr.
to
Chari. They
change
couldn't be
the
done in
stand
different
We are
overnight.
getting enlightened.
Number one.
Mr. Chari,
Number one.
political
Number two.
statements were in
Number
public
two.
domain.
Shadri
Number
bhai, we
two,
are getting
agree.
enlightened.
Yeah, we are getting enlightened here today, Mr. Farooqi. I'm enjoying this. Continue, please continue. I want all the inner strategies of these parties to come into the public domain. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Come on,
It will
reveal
all
more,
come
open
out.
all your cupboards.
Finally, you will agree. Finally, you will understand. Finally, you will see.
You see, I'll tell
that
you.
all the political parties
See, the
are
point we are
on
trying
one
to
page.
make here,
One
the
second.
point we are trying to
What-
make
what-
here
what- what-
is
what-
that
Mr.
Mr. Narendra
Narendra
Modi
not
may be
trying to
having the
say-
best of intentions, and we do not doubt his intentions. He's a leader who's got a superb mandate from the people of this country, and I'm sure he'll do everything to deliver.
You see, these
But
are two allies.
But
What's
the
up, Mr.
problem
Narvekar?
lies
Mr.
when you don't react to statements made by your allies who are going to be a part of your government. They are not just people supporting you from outside.
Right.
They are people who are going to be a part of your government.
Well, you know.
Narvekar Saab, I can understand if somebody from Shiv Sena is getting worked up. I am sure Mr. Suresh Prabhu is not talking. It is Narvekar who is talking
But
about
why should
Shiv
people
Sena.
from the Sena get worked up?
Well, Mr. Suresh Prabhu is quiet. Because Mr. Suresh Prabhu doesn't
Because
want to
I-
get drawn into this debate.
Because
Yes,
I know
Mr.
Suresh Prabhu. Because I know
Mr.
Suresh
Su-
Prabhu. Sir, because I know Mr. Suresh Prabhu. I know Mr. Suresh Prabhu. He's a hardcore professional. He knows where the country should lead. He's a very high class professional. I respect him a lot. He belongs to the same fraternity. I know that country does not need these kind of things which Mr.
see,
Thackeray is talking.
you see.
He may be talking
You
for his
see,
own constituency.
Mr. Farooqi.
But I'm pretty sure that he doesn't mean it.
Mr. Farooqi, you see,
And-
the slogan is India first. No, one second. The slogan of the
let me tell you,
BJP.
let me assure Mr. Narvekar also that we will talk to all our friends, we will talk to each and every political party on all the issues, contentious or otherwise. Therefore, they are free to make, it is a democracy.
No, so-
NCP is also free to make statements tomorrow. Not agreeing with something or
see,
disagreeing with something.
No, one minute.
We will come and talk to you also.
Mr. Chari, you see the slogan, and I want to get Suresh Prabhu into this. I'm coming to Salman Sood. See, Suresh Prabhu, what was the BJP slogan? What was Modi's slogan? It was India first. Now, Mr. Modi also said, and he said in an interview to me also, that the dialogue and the discourse before elections is different from the dialogue and discourse after the elections. All that people want today is a reassurance that dialogue goes uninterrupted with a cultural tilt to the right. With a cultural tilt to the right. And that comes across in issues that are championed by the RSS, like Article 370. You see, Uniform Civil Code. Ram Mandir issue.
So,
Yes.
Arnav,
Mr. Prabhu, please. Mr.
Article
Prabhu.
370 and Ram Mandir are cultural tilt. They are not cultural tilt. Arnav, they are not culturally right tilt. They are part and parcel of the constitution.
No. See, that's where now
And
we are
we are
getting
only
into the
saying
gray.
what the Supreme
No,
Court
that's
has
where they
said.
are getting into the grey area. One second. Yes, please. Suresh Prabhu.
yeah, we are discussing whether Pakistan issue, if you bring out, whether the development agenda get derailed.
Not
These are
Pakistan.
two separate things. The development. So that's what the Pakistan issue. If it is raised, does not mean the development issue takes a back seat.
Absolutely
The
not.
development
It won't.
issue is one of the most fundamental preoccupation of the election campaign, with which Mr. Modi has talked about, even all the India partners have talked about, Uddhav Thackeray has talked about. So what is now construed as, if you talk about the issue, that depends upon what context you are talking. I have not heard his statement, so I have not seen Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's statement. But in context, what you probably would have been saying, that if you want talk with Pakistan, then do Pakistan talk only in a way that Pakistan responds to our concerns. So what is important is the development issue, if we talk about, and Pakistan issue talk about, does not mean that development issue get derailed. Development is very important issue. This is a preoccupation of the entire election campaign of Mr. Modi and his associates. So I think development is irrespective of our relationship with Pakistan has to happen.
No,
That
Pakistan,
does
you're
not
overplaying
necessarily mean-
Pakistan. You're overplaying Pakistan. The question is not so much Pakistan, but for example, Uniform Civil Code or Article 370.
See, that is another issue.
Now that is the
See,
main
there
issue.
are-
That's
there
it.
are so
Pakistan.
many-
I don't think there's any debate on the
See, there are
fact that you need to stop treating Pakistan with kid gloves.
there are number of issues. There are number of issues that have to be dealt with. The question is of sequencing. The question is of what comes
Sequencing.
first. Do you mean that many of the issues that really should occupy the attention of the government, the most important issue is the development of the country. So if you want the development of the country, you create infrastructure, you address social issues, you take care of education, all the issues are very important. So what I'm saying is the sequencing of this is very important.
Okay.
And therefore what is important is how do you bring
One rebut
the development
from Salman
to the fore
Soz.
and make sure that the development happens.
One rebut from Salman Soz, then a break.
If sequencing is indeed the mantra, then given that in the party manifesto for the BJP, all of these kinds of issues which are contentious were actually towards the end of the manifesto, then maybe those can wait till we deal with the more urgent problems that the country faces right now.
True.
Otherwise, I think the whole election campaign was a sham. I don't think Mr. Modi should go that way. I think the party should resist any pressure for that. I know that RSS and BJP are having lots of meetings as the government formation is taking place. We are still working in good faith. We hope that these are just not anything about government formation. At the same time, we stand ready for constructive opposition. But let me caution the BJP, Mr. Modi especially, that if we get into contentious issues from the beginning, then the Congress party will raise its voice against such
Right.
issues.
We're going into a break. As of now, it appears the BJP agrees, Salman Soz, with the perspective that these are not issues which need immediate concern. And I think Mr. Modi should be able to handle it, and especially handle those in the RSS who expect him to deliver on some of these issues. How will that communication happen? We'll talk about that on the other side of the break.